Okay, that's fine. So, okay, we'll figure it out.
Please rise. Municipal Court for the City of Stoughton is now in session. The Honorable Scott Dirks presiding.
Please be seated. Good evening. My name is Scott Dirks, and I'm the municipal judge for the City of Stoughton and the towns of Dunkirk, Pleasant Springs, and Rutland. The City of Stoughton will appear in all matters this evening by Attorney Isaac Brodkey, and seated next to him is...
Go ahead.
Kieran O'Day. All right, and Mr. O'Day, are you also appearing on city matters? Yeah. Okay. Before I begin calling cases, I want to go over some of the procedures we'll follow tonight and some of your rights as defendants. These procedures are also set forth on the form that was made available to you as you came through the courtroom. First, please turn off your cell phones. Second, this hearing is for initial appearances on the citations you received. This is not the time for a trial or telling me your side of what happened. When your case is called, please come up to the podium in front here and remember to speak clearly. These proceedings are being recorded, so you need to answer questions verbally and not simply by nodding or shaking your head. Tonight, I'll ask you to enter a plea to the citation you were issued. Your plea options are not guilty, no contest, or guilty. A plea of guilty means you admit you did whatever it is you are charged with. A plea of no contest means that while you do not admit doing anything unlawful, you do not wish to contest the matter. In many cases, the city will be in a position to make you an offer to resolve your case right here tonight. If you do arrive at such an agreement, then you should enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Either way, guilty or no contest, I must find you guilty. I will then review the facts of your case to determine whether there is a factual basis for accepting your plea, and will give you an opportunity, if you wish, to tell me anything you feel is relevant to my decision. I will then impose a forfeiture. A forfeiture is a money penalty that can be from $20,000 to $10,000, though the vast majority will be in the range of $50,000 to $200,000. I'm also required to impose court costs, which will increase the total amount you must pay. I'll automatically give you 30 days to pay your forfeiture. If you think you'll need more time than that, please let me know right away and we can set up a payment plan. Failure to timely pay your forfeiture can result in suspension of your driver's license or referring the matter for debt collection. If you plead not guilty, I'll schedule your case for a pre-trial conference with the city attorney, and that'll be over the phone. At that time, you can discuss your case with him and see if your case can be resolved without a trial. If it cannot be resolved, I'll schedule the matter for trial. You do have the right to have an attorney represent you in your case. However, you must hire that attorney on your own. The public defender's office will not represent you. You also have the right to ask me for a continuance of your case if you need to consult with an attorney or for some other reason. If you are charged with operating while intoxicated or a related offense, you have the right to a jury trial in circuit court in Madison. However, you must post your jury fees within 10 days of the date of your plea, so that's within 10 days of tonight. Trials on all other offenses will be heard by me, and you have the right to appeal any decision that I make in your case. Those of you who are charged with a traffic offense should bear in mind that in addition to having to pay a forfeiture if found guilty, the Division of Motor Vehicles may also impose demerit points against your license. If 12 or more points are assessed against your license in any 12-month period, Your driving privileges will be suspended for a period of time. If you hold a probationary license, those points may be doubled. And finally, if your address changes at any time while your case is pending, you must notify the court in writing within 5 days of such a change. Thank you. The first case is City versus Ace, Gene Ace. Mr. Ace, do you still live on Pearl Street in Belleville?
Yes, I do.
Sir, you're charged with speeding on a public highway by 16 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yep.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant tonight?
The city's willing to amend the citation to 9 miles per hour over, bearing a 3-point deduction and a $98.80 forfeiture.
Mr. Ace, is that something you're interested in doing?
Yes.
All right, then how do you plead?
No contest.
I do find a factual basis for your plea. I will find you guilty. Is there anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
No. Just that he picked me out of the crowd.
Okay. All right, well, I will impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $98.80. Do you need more than 30 days to pay
No,
that?
I'll pay it today.
Okay. We'll give you a copy of the judgment to take with you, and you can actually pay on the way out if
Yeah,
you want
that's
to.
what we'll do. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All set?
I'm all set?
Okay,
Thank
thank you. City versus Kolhoff. Here we go. Oh, why isn't it coming up now? I did. Bear with me a moment, Mr. Koloff. We got new software installed a while ago, and sometimes it's problematic. Sure available?
I'm sure we'll find out. It's. I don't think it's relevant. Okay.
Well, I'll proceed as best I can. Mr. Koloff, is your address still the same address that's on your citation?
Yes.
Oh, you had it on to begin with.
Yeah, just press it once. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And is your last name spelled correctly?
Yes.
Mr. Koloff, you're charged with inattentive driving. That means that while you were operating a motor vehicle on a public roadway, that you did not pay sufficient attention to the operation of that vehicle or the traffic around you. Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
And does the city have an offer?
The city's willing to reduce the citation from $111.40 to $98.80.
And how many demerit points goes with that?
It's the same citation, so it's a 4-pointer.
Okay. Mr. Koloff, is that something you're interested in doing?
Yes, I'd like to do that.
Okay, then how do you plead?
No contest.
Counsel, since I can't look at the citation, can you give me a brief synopsis of the facts?
I could bring it to you too. Would that work?
If that's easier for you.
Well, I don't want to misstate anything.
We don't normally do things this way, but all right. I do find a factual basis for your plea. I will find you guilty. I will impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $98.80. Is 30 days enough time for you, or do you need more time to pay that?
That's enough time.
Okay. Then,
Sorry, I'm gonna
that's okay.
have to go ahead and repeat that. We have late people coming in. Will be
Mr.
amended,
Kohlhoff,
Amended to,
the charge isn't amended, it's the same charge,
okay,
and I'm imposing $98.80.
so it's the same charge.
Yep.
Right. 30 days?
Right. Is there anything you wanted to tell me about the case?
I was paying attention, but I sneezed when I was at the stop sign and bumped into the back of the other car.
Okay. Maybe keep your foot on the brake next time?
Yeah, it was a bad sneeze.
Okay. Was there, I take it there wasn't any significant damage
No,
to either vehicle?
there was no damage.
Very good. And do you have any questions about anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Hang on and we'll give you a copy of the judgment, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
City versus Tyrell Collins. Mr. Collins. Do you still live on West Main Street in Stoughton, sir?
Yes, sir.
First name is spelled Tyrell?
Yep.
Great. You have 2 citations. The first is for operating a motor vehicle after the revocation or suspension of the vehicle's registration. And the other citation is for operating a motor vehicle while your driving privileges were suspended. Do you understand the nature of the charges against you?
Yes, sir.
And does the city have an offer for the defendant?
Your Honor, I spoke to the defendant briefly. I think that it probably makes sense to just set it for a pretrial. And
Okay. So, sir, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, and we'll schedule this for a pretrial phone conference on
Okay.
May 7th. And in a second, I'll give you written notice of that, and that'll have Mr. Brodkey's phone number on it.
Okay, thank you.
What time are we giving him?
4:40.
Sir? At 4:40 in the afternoon, will that work for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not interfering with work or anything.
No, I can tell them today when I go back that that's going to happen.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Hang on a second, we'll give you that notice.
Yes, sir. Okay. Awesome. Trying to, yeah. Okay. No problem at all.
Okay, any
Yes, sir.
questions about anything?
No, sir.
All right. As soon as you get this notice, then you're free to go.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, officer.
All right, thank you. City versus Larry Nelson. It did it again.
Oh, my.
This is really kind of frustrating. All right. Mr. Nelson, do you have a copy of your citation in front of you?
Yes,
And is the address on your citation still your current address?
yes.
Sir, you're charged with speeding on a public highway by 16 miles per hour over the posted limit. Do you
Yes.
understand the nature of the charge?
Yes,
Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
the city's willing to amend it to 9 miles per hour over bearing a 3-point deduction, and then $98.80 forfeiture.
Sir, is that an offer you're interested in taking?
3 points, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, then how do you plead?
No contest.
Based on your plea, I will find you guilty. I will find you guilty of the citation as amended, so 9 miles per hour over the posted limits. I will impose a forfeiture and cost totaling $98.80. Do you need more than 30 days to pay that?
I'll pay her today.
Okay. Hang on and we'll give you a copy of the judgment,
Thank you.
and then you're free to go.
Thank you.
All right. Nope, look, don't leave yet, don't leave yet. While you're still here, was there anything you wanted to tell me about the case?
I wasn't, the first time I ever drove the car. It was my son's car, but I was speeding, so
Okay,
you bet. Thank you.
all right, thank you.
You bet.
Let's just try it. City versus Gretchen Patey. Ma'am, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, you're in a distinct minority.
Ms. Patey, I'm having trouble with my computer, so I can't see your citation. Do you have it in front of you?
I do,
Is the address that's on the citation still your current address?
yes,
And your name is spelled correctly?
yes,
And you're charged with speeding on a public highway by 10 miles per hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
I do.
Does the city have an offer?
The city doesn't at this time, but maybe it makes sense to have a pretrial.
Okay. Ms. Patey, do you understand what the city attorney is saying? He doesn't have an offer tonight for you to resolve the case. So your choices are, you can plead guilty or no contest. Tonight, I would find you guilty and impose a forfeiture. Or if you plead not guilty, or allow me to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, then I would set this matter for a pretrial phone conference where you can discuss the case with Mr. Brodkey and see if you can come to a resolution short of trial.
I'll take that.
The pretrial conference? Okay. I will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf then, and we'll schedule this for a pretrial phone conference on May 7th, and we'll give you written notice of that. I'm sorry, is there a problem?
I'll be in Sicily on May 7th.
Oh, that won't work then. How about May 21st
That would be better.
at 3 p.m.? Well, I don't want it to interfere with your work or anything like that.
No,
Okay. All right, hang on, we'll give you a copy of that notice, and that'll have Mr. Brodkey's phone number on it then.
Your monitor is going, so he's trying to set up a separate monitor to bring in here for you, so. I'm sorry.
3.
Oh, 3.
All right, any questions?
I'm not familiar with the whole process.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious why I'm a pre-trial instead of an offer, but I don't know if that's something you would explain then.
Well, I haven't read the citation, so I don't know what facts are involved here. Mr. Brodkey does, and in his judgment, he'd like to have a chance to talk to you before making an offer to resolve the case. It may be that he's going to offer something other than a speeding citation, for example. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but that might be what he might be thinking about doing.
Okay. Thank you, I think.
All right, safe travels. All right, City versus Rowan Sorg. Mr. Sorg, again, my computer isn't working right, so I can't see a copy of your citation. Do you have a copy with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is the address that's listed on the citation still your current address?
Yes, it is.
Is your name spelled correctly?
Yes, it is.
All right, sir, you're charged with speeding in a school zone by 19 miles per hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the city have an offer?
The city is willing to reduce the forfeiture amount to $98.80. But the penalty would still be 4 points, and the citation would remain the same.
All right, sir, do you understand what the city is offering?
Yes.
And how do you wish to plead then?
No contest.
All right, I will find you guilty of the
Don't I get
amended, I'm sorry, find you guilty of speeding in a school zone by 19 over. I will impose a forfeiture and cost totaling $98.80. Is there anything you wish to tell me about your situation here?
He claimed the car in front of me was not speeding, yet the distance between me and them never changed. And the posted sign that said it was a school zone was at the beginning of the school, and by the time he clocked me, I was well out of it.
Okay. Well, do you understand that by pleading no contest, I'm finding you guilty?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you don't agree that this is what happened. Did you want a trial?
Can I go to pretrial?
Sure. Right. All right, I'll enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf then. And we'll schedule this for a pretrial conference on the phone on May 7, 2025
4:50.
at 4:50, 50. So does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. Hang on and we'll give you a written notice and then you're free to go unless you've got any other questions.
That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just, the late people have kind of thrown me behind. I need to add some to the list, but.
Am I free to go?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, now we're on to May 21st. The 7th is filled.
Okay. All right, City versus Darren Koch. Did I say your name correctly, ma'am?
No, it's okay.
No, please tell me how to pronounce
It's
it.
Darian Coe.
Darian Coe?
Yeah,
Got it.
it happens a lot. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And, are we good? Okay, my mouse doesn't like it though.
Oh, I didn't know you used a mouse, so.
Oh, yeah,
Here you go.
thank you. Okay, I promise to be careful. It's his laptop. If I wreck this one, the courthouse shuts down. Okay, so far so good. Ms. Coe, do you still live on Brugger Place in McFarland?
Yes, I do.
All right. And first name is Darryn,
Yes.
last name is Koch.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. You're charged with speeding on a public highway by 19 miles per hour over the posted limits. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes, I do.
Does the city have an offer?
The city is willing to amend this to 9 miles per hour over, carrying a 3-point deduction and $98.80 forfeiture.
Ma'am, do you understand the offer?
Yes, I do.
And is that something you'd like to do?
Yes.
All right. I just want to look at so how do you plead then?
Guilty.
Okay. I do find a factual basis for your plea. I will find you guilty of speeding by 9 miles per hour over the posted limits. I'll impose a forfeiture and cost totaling $98.80. Do you need more than 30 days to pay that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How many days would work, or would you prefer to set up a monthly payment plan?
A payment plan would be great.
Okay. Realistically, how much can you pay each month? Don't promise more than you can deliver, please.
50.
50?
50.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll give you 90 days to pay that.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
Sure. Are you working right now, ma'am?
I'm in school right now and
Ah.
working, so both.
Okay. Where are you going to school?
Madison College.
Okay.
I'm in the surgical technology program.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
Good.
I'm working with, like, it's through the school, so it's like I only work 8 hours a week. So not very much, but
Okay. But 90 days will do it?
yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. All right then, unless you have any other questions, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. City versus Hannah Jorgensen. Ms. Jorgensen, do you still live on 8th Street in Stoughton?
Yes, sir.
And last name is spelled Jorgensen?
Yes.
And Ms. Jorgensen, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle while your Wisconsin driving privileges were under suspension. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes.
And Mr. Brodkey, an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. If she provides proof of her driver's license to the court, or the city would be willing to dismiss the citation.
So, Ms. Jorgensen, do you know why your driving privileges are suspended right now?
They were suspended. An unfortunate mix-up in paying my insurance. This happened one other time. Last time, it fixed itself. I got a letter from the DMV. More or less, I'm sorry, this time I did not get a letter from the DMV, which is why I did not know I was suspended. Last time it somehow got fixed, but there was a mix-up in my auto pay with my insurance directly that way. I had to get a new debit card a few months ago, so I'm guessing that is the way that it happened.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but how long do you think it might take you to get this squared away so that your driving privileges are valid again?
Well, again, they are. I've paid my insurance. I contacted the DMV twice to make sure. They sent me to check something else. I checked something else. I called back. I went online and actually put in my information on the DMV website, and it says I'm current. I actually don't have my driver's license. It is in my sweatpants that I took my money out of that I thought it was a part of, so I cannot provide that to you guys today. But I can't show you
Okay.
that I have a legal license.
So if I give you 30 days to show written proof to Mr. Brodkey that your privileges are valid, is that going to be enough time, do you think?
That's plenty of time. I
Okay.
can come back in 5 minutes and show you.
Oh, yeah, sure, right.
Yeah?
Okay, we'll pass your case for a minute. The officer is just going to check your license status.
Sure.
And while we're doing that, we'll call the next case. Yep. Luca Acuna, City versus Luca Acuna. Sir, you're Mr. Acuna?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you still live on Janesville Street in Oregon?
Yes.
Last name is spelled A-C-U-N-A.
Yes.
Sir, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Yes.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
If I could just have 1 second.
Sure.
I think it makes sense to set this matter for a pre-trial conference.
Okay. Sir, do you understand what that means?
Did he say a trial?
What the city is suggesting is that I enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf and schedule this for a pretrial phone conference on May 21st, so you can talk over the phone with Mr. Brodke about trying to resolve the case. He's not in a position to try to do that tonight.
Okay, and the payment will be hold on until then, right?
There's no payment at this point because you haven't been convicted of anything.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, can I do that?
Okay. Hang on a minute and we'll give you
May 21st at 3:10.
May 21st at 3:10. Is that going to work for you?
Do you happen to know what day that is?
That is a Wednesday.
Wednesday? Yeah, that works for me.
That's not going to interfere with work or anything?
No, it won't.
Okay. Why don't you come on up? Unless you have any other questions. Okay, make sure you call Mr. Brodke on that date and time. Otherwise, if you don't, we'll assume that you're not interested in trying to get the case resolved and you'll be found guilty.
Okay, and you said May 21st,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, I'm recalling Ms. Jorgensen's case. And officer, does she have valid driving privileges now?
She does.
All right,
The city moves to dismiss.
dismissed.
Thank you.
If you stay for a minute, I'll.
Oh, yes, we'll give you a copy of the judgment.
That's cool. I'll hang.
Yeah, hang on to this, because if there's a screw up again, you've
Sure.
got proof that this was dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, you too.
S-E-Y-E.
I've got Anthony Monroe next.
No, it was wrong. He would
Okay.
be after this one. S-E-Y-E is the next one.
Oh, okay. Last name S-E-Y-E. I'm sorry, sir, can you tell me how to pronounce your name?
I'm Daru.
Okay, Daru, how do you pronounce your last name?
Say,
Say?
yeah.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Say, whoops. No, that's me. It's an adventure. Mr. Say, do you still live on Dominion Drive in Madison?
Yes.
And is your last name spelled S-E-Y-E?
Yes.
First name D-A-R-O-U?
Yes.
Great. Sir, you're charged with failing to stop at a stop sign. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes.
Sir, do you understand everything that's going on here today?
I understand, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
But I want to plead not guilty because I didn't notice there was a stop sign there.
That's okay. We're not going to talk about that just yet.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, you're charged with failing to stop at a stop sign. I need to inform you that this offense, in addition to possibly having to pay a forfeiture, and having demerit points assessed against your driver's license. If you're convicted of this offense, you also have to attend a approved right-of-way driver training school within a certain period of time, and if you don't do that, your driver's license will be suspended. So, given that, does the city have an offer for the defendant?
The city does not have an offer at this time.
Okay. If I set this on for a pretrial conference, does that make sense, sir?
To me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Say, what I would propose doing then is entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf and setting this on for a pretrial phone conference on May 21st so you can discuss the case with Mr. Brodkey, the city attorney, to see if you can resolve this without a trial. It may very well be that after he's talked to you, that he offers a different offense for you to plead to. I'm not saying that's what he's going to do or that I'm even recommending that. I'm just trying to explain why the city is asking to have this set over for that conference. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, please.
Hang on a minute. Do you have a time?
May 21st, 3:20.
May 21st at 3:20. Would that work for you? That's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday. Can I have one for Friday? Is there one available for Friday?
If you call, when you get that number, we can set up a different time.
Okay.
So-
Okay. So is that going to be a phone interview? With them?
Yes.
Yeah, on a Wednesday. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, be sure that you call, because if you don't, we'll assume that you no longer want to contest this matter and you'll be found guilty.
Okay. Is there
Yeah.
the number to call? Is it on there?
Yeah.
I will call to this number on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, okay. Any questions, sir?
No, that's all.
Okay, then you're free to go.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Then I have City versus Anthony Monroe. Sir, do you still live on Chicago Street in Stoughton?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes,
Last name is spelled Monroe.
correct.
You're also charged with failing to stop at a stop sign. Do you understand the nature of the charge against you?
Yes.
And does the city have an offer for the defendant?
The city does not this time, but I wouldn't object to a pretrial.
Okay. I don't know if you heard what I said to the previous defendant.
I did.
Okay. This would also be one of those offenses where if you're convicted, there's a school that you must attend within, I believe it's 6 months of the date of conviction, and if you don't, your driver's license is suspended. So what Mr. Brodkey is proposing is that I enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf so that you can call him and discuss the case with him. We don't really have time to do that tonight.
Okay.
Is that something you're interested in doing?
Yes.
Okay.
3:30?
May 21st at 3:30.
Okay,
Will that work for you?
that will work.
Okay, and that's over the phone.
Yep.
Okay. Hang on a minute. We'll give you written notice of that, and then unless you have any questions, you're free to go.
No questions.
Next one is Knauer.
Okay. City versus Kyle Knauer.
Knauer, you're on.
Knauer, thank you. Sir, you have 3 citations. Well, first of all, is your first name K-Y-L-E?
Yes, sir.
Last name is K-N-A-U-E-R?
Yes, sir.
And do you still live on Broadway Street in Stoughton?
So technically I am homeless. They just have that as my address because I'm basically there almost every day.
Okay. Is that where you can receive mail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If that changes, if you end up finding a different place where you will be getting mail, could you please notify us in writing within 5 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You have 3 citations, the first of which is hit and run of property adjacent to a highway. That means that you hit property that was alongside of a public motorway, and yet you hit it, causing damage, and drove away without attempting to make contact with the owner of that property. You're also charged with deviating from the designated lane of traffic on a public motorway. That means that you, without proper signaling, deviated from that lane of traffic. And then finally, you've been cited for failure to notify the police of an accident where property damage or physical damage to a person occurred. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the city have an offer for the defendant?
The city does not have an offer at this time, but believes a pretrial would make sense.
Okay. Sir, given your situation, if I set this on for a pretrial phone conference, is that something you'll be able to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. May 21st at
3:40.
3:40 in the afternoon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will that work for you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So if I didn't do it already, I'll enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. And we'll give you written notice of the date and time, as well as Mr. Brodkey's phone number. So you should call him and see if you can work this out. If you do, you probably won't have to come back to court. If you don't have it worked out, then we'll set the matters on for a trial. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have questions about anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
All 3.
Oh, that was fast.
We do have one that Isaac talked to before court. Mr. Miller, that's the agreement you worked out if you approve that.
Sure. City versus Charles Sharp. That's, operating while suspended. Mr. Brodkey, it's my understanding that you were able to speak with the defendant before court, and you're asking to have this set up for a status conference in May?
September.
I'm sorry, September?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, we'll mail notice to the defendant of the pretrial phone conference. And that's how you wanted to proceed in the case, right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
And there is one default, that is a DWI that you
Yeah.
have to make.
Then City versus Darling Roque Palma. Oop. Oh, there we are. We've got 5 citations. We have operating without a valid driver's license, operating without headlamps lit. I'm sorry, 4 citations. Operating under the influence and operating with a prohibited blood alcohol concentration. Mr. Brodkey, am I correct in assuming the defendant has had no contact with you prior to tonight?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to find the defendant guilty by default, as in for judgment On the operating without a valid driver's license, I'll impose a forfeiture and cost totaling $124. On the headlights citation, I'll impose a forfeiture and costs totaling $86.20. What was the test result?
I believe it's point one.
Yes.
Yeah.
.10?
Yes. And he has no driver's license, so I couldn't verify if this is a second offense.
Well, even if he didn't have one, it would still show up. Mr. Brodke, in your opinion, given the facts of the case, does this fall into the intermediate, mitigated, or aggravated column for penalties? Was there an accident, I guess, is one question.
Yeah, Your Honor, if you don't mind, let me just scan through
Yeah,
it.
please.
Your Honor, I don't see an accident happening. I guess my sort of sense is that it's not aggravated. That wouldn't be the highest. And then I think that there's some, between intermediate and mitigated. But it's not fully clear to me.
Okay. What is the city recommending by way of penalty then?
Your Honor, I think in this case a 7-month revocation would be appropriate. The AODA assessment, obviously, and then when it comes to the forfeiture, I think that these are cited at
986.
986, and I believe that the new forfeiture minimum has changed. I think that's. And perhaps Mary has that, but I think that probably the minimum would be fine.
Okay. I'll adopt the city's recommendation then, and I'll impose on the operating while intoxicated $175 plus costs. I don't know what that totals out to. I'll impose a 7-month revocation of driving privileges. I'll order the alcohol assessment program, and then I'll impose no penalties on the BAC citation, unless the city's moving to dismiss that.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Does that make sense on your end?
It does, I know. The only thing that has changed is the safe driver fee has gone from 50 to 75.
Okay.
So our lowest is usually 735, so you would add 25 to that, is that
So
what
760.
Is that what you're meaning?
Okay, yeah. Forfeiture and cost totaling $760.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's good.
That sound right to you, Mr. Brodke?
If you don't mind, let me double check that because
Sure.
I think that might be a little higher. Do you know?
I've got the 5th Judicial District guidelines, but that's from July of 2018, and that only spells out a range for the forfeiture, doesn't do anything about the say anything about the costs.
So what I see from what Sammy sent me is 860 as being the cumulative fine minimum. But
Okay. I'll order 860 then.
yeah,
Sorry.
if that's incorrect, the city would ask that. So
Okay. Then with respect to any cases that I have not yet called this evening, I'll find the defendants guilty by default. I'll impose judgment in the amounts listed on the citations that were issued. We had one retail theft, but there's no request for restitution, so I don't think that should be an issue. All right. And then we've got two for 6 o'clock where I don't think we're going to have appearances, right?
No, right. And
Okay.
one is a juvenile, I marked that, so don't, if you just say the
Right.
initials.
I will.
Okay.
City versus Amanda Brown.
It's actually a pretrial that was a conflict for Stafford, so it's just for your approval, they provided proof.
Right. City versus Amanda Brown. The prosecution is moving to dismiss, and I will order it dismissed. City versus Jamie Solmar. Speeding on a public highway. The city is moving to dismiss. I will order it dismissed. And then I have a juvenile matter, city versus HTW, date of birth 10/11/07. This was a citation for possession of tobacco on school property. It's my understanding that the parties have agreed that the defendant will enter a plea of guilty or no contest, but that the court should impose no penalties. Is that correct, Mr. Brodkey?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Just to flesh it out a little bit, apparently the agreement was that if the defendant pursued mental health treatment as outlined by the agreement between the parties, that this is the disposition that the parties are recommending to the court. I have information that that is what happened, that the defendant did hold up their end of the agreement, so I will find the defendant guilty but impose no penalties. Anything else?
Isaac needs to talk.
Sure.
Well,
You need this on the record?
well,
You wanted to talk to me about something?
yeah, well, for the hearings, are you going to call the James Hammis?
And reschedule.
Okay, it's been rescheduled.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
then nothing further from the city, Your Honor.
Okay, then we are adjourned.